For all the windows, we're going to clean the openings and then do a test fit on the windows to make sure everything fits before we start. So whenever you're choosing windows, you're buying them for the rough opening size. My side windows are 3 feet high and 4 feet wide whenever I was buying them, but the actual windows themselves are half an inch smaller on each of those dimensions. We're going to work on the sill pan area first. Cut your flashing a foot longer than the window opening. Apply the flashing tape so there's at least 2 inches on the exterior and 6 inches up each side. So if you're like me, you were doing a lot of research on how you could flash the sill, and there's a bunch of different ways that you could do this, especially whenever it comes to the corners. So what I ended up doing is just following the manufacturer's directions for mine. If you're interested in the different materials and methods that you might use for flashing the sill, there's more information in a corresponding article that's linked in the description. So next we're going to flash the sides of the opening. Cut 2 pieces equal to the height of the opening. When you're applying the flashing on the sides, just like the sill, make sure that there's 2 inches of flashing on the exterior. When you're applying all this flashing, it helps to use a roller to make sure that it's all adhering properly. Normally you would use a J roller, but this is what I got. So we're looking to create a gap between the window bottom and the sill. So what we're going to do is install some shims that'll create that 1/4 to 3/8 inch gap. I used a handsaw to slice composite shims into 3/4 inch sections. When you place these, give yourself a little gap near the outside of the sill. You don't want the window fin touching the shims. You'll slide the stacked shims until you get them leveled up. Once that's done, you use some strips of flashing to hold them in place. Put the window in place and center it in the opening. I forgot to film putting silicone around the sides and the top of the window area. Sorry about that. Once you've got the window centered in the opening, put a screw in each of the top corners. The manufacturer of my windows recommended using the screw with the built-in washer. I wasn't able to find those, so I did a combination of an exterior screw with a stainless steel washer. So I don't really feel that I'm an expert enough at shimming windows to teach you how to do it. To help you out though, I put a video in the article write-up that was really helpful for me to learn how to do it. Once everything is plumb and shimmed, drive screws in the bottom corners of the window fins. Check everything one last time and then drive the rest of the screws in. Now we're going to flash the outside of the window. Apply flashing to the side fins, making sure that the flashing extends 2 inches past the fins. Next, apply flashing to the top fin. Make sure that this flashing extends 1 inch past the side flashing tape. We're not going to flash the bottom. This is just in case any water gets into this area, it has a way to get out. I did things a little bit different for centering the upper windows. I measured out the window and also the rough opening, and then calculated and marked where the fins should sit just outside that rough opening area. It worked out pretty well. Now we're going to seal things up with some foam. Make sure you get the stuff that's for windows and doors. So just like the outside, we're only going to apply foam to the sides and to the top of the window. If you haven't already trimmed your shims, just use a sharp knife to score them and then snap them off. I kind of foamed the heck out of some of these areas, but it scraped off just fine using a wooden shim. The white vinyl wasn't stained at all by the yellow foam. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching. Barda's Adopt a Shop Helper cameos next. Make sure you subscribe so you get new content when it comes out. Get out there, make something, and we'll see you next time.